Hello and welcome back to Galactic Spirit. Today's video might just change the way you see children and the future of humanity itself. We're diving into two incredible sources, a News Nation interview with neuroscientist Dr. Diane Powell and a channeled message from the Galactic Confederation of Light. Together they tell a story that is both scientific and spiritual about telepathic children, consciousness, and the dawning of a new Earth. Let's begin with the Telepathy tapes, which is a powerful podcast series created by filmmaker Kai Dickens. It follows the groundbreaking research of Dr. Diane Powell, a former Harvard Medical School faculty member who has spent years studying autistic savant children. These kids, many of whom are nonverbal, appear to communicate through telepathy. Yes, you heard that right. Telepathy.
My son said to me, "I can hear thoughts." And I said,
"Impossible."
and he said to me, "You don't get the kind of gifts that I have if you lie."
Let's please multiply two numbers and see if he gets it.
Okay, what is it?
9, 0, 0.
Unbelievable.
1.
Maybe shuffle again, Dr. Powell. Oh.
Play. 2.
So he got the plus, too.
I was wondering, because I was looking at the 2 the whole time and I saw his hand going somewhere else.
What is this phenomena happening? Why are his mind and my mind completely connected?
Now, this idea has received serious pushback from the scientific world. Some skeptics claim the children are being coached by parents using methods like facilitated communication. But in the podcast, parents are removed from the room, and the kids still perform with astonishing accuracy. Some answer questions they couldn't possibly know, and some even know multiple foreign languages as early as the age of 2, suggesting something deeper is going on. Dr. Powell is careful not to jump to conclusions, but after decades of study, she believes these children are accessing information beyond the 5 senses, possibly from what she calls informational fields.
Let's talk about the young fellow, is it Ramses, the young boy that you were talking about, who was not nonverbal and could speak, but basically was still showing these psi abilities. What do you think is going on? Try and explain to me, please, as a layperson, what's your hypothesis about what and why he's able to do?
Well, so I really think that one of the things that's missing from our conception of things is information. And I think that we live in informational fields. So like we were talking earlier about, the cloud and that the brain is just a navigational tool, okay, for consciousness. And so we're surrounded by information. And how is information encoded? Information is encoded in sound and light. That's how we're able to have this conversation we're having here over a video conference. So then there's information that's encoded in sound. So for example, radio. It's either in the modification or modulation of the amplitude, or in modulation of the frequency. That's why we have AM radio or FM radio. So that's how the information is encoded in that. Similarly, information is encoded in sort of pixels in light. So you'll have all of these different colors or shades of gray and black and white that are put into a pattern. And we recognize patterns. So if you're doing the visual system, it's pattern recognition, and information is encoded in these different pixels. Sound, it's in the frequency and amplitude modification. And so here we are living in a universe in which we're surrounded by all of these frequencies in both light and sound that are outside of our visual and auditory capacity to detect.
And so You think that these kids or these people that are displaying these psi abilities somehow have this ability to tune into that frequency?
Yes, yes, I do. I think what happens is that the information is contained within the waves, but those waves are at frequencies that most of us aren't tuning into. I mean, just like you see how different animal species can detect, for example, infrared light, which is below our visible range, or ultraviolet light, which is above our visual range. And one of the things that we know about autistic children is that their perception is different from ours. Um, for example, a lot of autistic children have perfect pitch, and they complain of being that they're very light sensitive and sound sensitive. That in fact they have to. There's some autistic children that have to wear noise canceling headphones just to navigate around because they can hear too much. Or there are children who can hear a conversation that's happening down the block.
These kids might be what some call psionicists, people with natural psychic abilities. Psionics is the idea that the mind can tune into energies or frequencies, even connect with non-human intelligence. Sounds like sci-fi, but it might explain why children like Ramsey, who could read college-level astronomy books at age 5, or Haley, who read her therapist's calculator answers without seeing the screen, are doing what they're doing. And here's where it gets even wilder. Dr. Powell may be involved with the Skywatcher project, a secretive UAP program led by whistleblower Jake Barber. Their goal? To summon UFOs using, you guessed it, telepathy. So the big question is, are these gifted children not only receiving information, but also acting as bridges between our world and higher non-human intelligence? One of the most fascinating parts of the telepathy tapes is something called the Hill. It's a place children say they go to in their minds to meet and talk with other kids, some they've never met in real life. This hill may be a kind of shared consciousness, like a spiritual internet. Dr. Powell compares it to the Akashic Records, a term used to describe a cosmic library of all knowledge. If that's true, these children may not just be communicating with each other, they might be tapping into something universal. And that brings us to our second source. In a recent channeled message, Commander Ashtar of the Galactic Confederation of Light confirms that a massive wave of new souls is incarnating on Earth right now. He calls them the children of the new dawn. According to the Confederation, these children are starseeds, high-frequency souls from the star systems like the Pleiades, Sirius, and Arcturus. Some even come directly from the Galactic Federation's ships. Unlike many of us, they are not here to burn off karma or repeat old cycles. They are here with a mission, to help humanity ascend. These kids come in with powerful spiritual gifts already activated: telepathy, energy healing, even contact with ETs. And they don't need to be taught these abilities. They remember them. Both Dr. Powell's research and the galactic message point to the same truth. Consciousness is not created by the brain. It's accessed through it. Like the cloud on your phone, we are all tapping into something greater.
Do you think it's possible that what Stu's describing is that consciousness is actually something that's not inherently in our brains, but we're tapping into a consciousness outside of our bodies?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. The further I got along in this, the more I started to realize that a better analogy for thinking about things is to view consciousness as being like the cloud, and that our brain is really our tool for navigating it.
That's exactly the analogy. You stole my metaphor, Diane. I was about to use that myself, but you were cleverer than me. No, I'm absolutely fascinated by it. And I remember when I met Stuart, we met at Esalen, where we actually saw demonstrations of psychical phenomena with young children who were blindfolded, and they were literally reading books while blindfolded, using a capacity of sight or remote viewing or whatever it is. What do you think is going on there? I mean, I cannot for the life of me provide a scientific explanation. And I'm a doctor's son. I've been schooled in the scientific method. I'm told as a young student that this is how you verify things. But essentially what we're seeing here is kind of a failure of materialist science to explain a phenomena which certainly on witness evidence is suggesting to be authentic.
Right. I think the way to think about it is that we can focus our consciousness on something, okay, and whatever that something is that we focus on, we can actually we can merge with it to some extent. So for example, what do I mean by that? Let's use just the body, since we're all familiar with consciousness. Our conscious experience as an embodied being. I remember when I first went to a class where they were trying to teach you progressive relaxation, and they're like, focus your concentration in this particular part of your body, and I'm like, focus my concentration on that part. It was like hard for me to imagine focusing my concentration. But then I found that with practice, I could do that. And so then it's like, well, focus your concentration just a little bit outside of your body. And so I think what happens is that we can use our ability to hone in on whatever it is we want to actually gain information from that, but we tend to not. We tend to stay in a very we tend to stay in a way that where there's a lot of noise in the system, and we're thinking rather than trying to perceive. So it's about engaging in perceptual processes as opposed to analytical processes, if that makes sense.
Autistic children may be more tuned in because they aren't distracted by the noise of the material world. They're already plugged into the frequency of love, peace, and unity. And that's what this is really about. The children are here to guide us, not just to a better society, but to a higher vibration of being. As Ashtar says, these young souls are striking a new chord that will ring out into the golden age.
The next wave of 144,000 souls is arriving as we speak. Some are infants and toddlers today. Some are yet to be born in the coming months and few years. Some are even in their early teens, but will be coming online energetically now as their mission activates. These souls have volunteered from across the cosmos to be here for the climax of the Ascension. They are the reinforcements, one might say, the cavalry of light arriving in perfect timing. Where do they come from? Many hail from star nations of high love and light: Pleiadians, Sirians, Andromedans, Arcturians, and beyond. Some come directly from the great motherships and fleets of the Galactic Federation. They literally lived on board our ships as part of their soul journey, training for Earth, and then took birth as human babies through loving human families. Others come from angelic realms or pure source energy, souls so pure that some have never incarnated anywhere before. Imagine the level of dedication it takes to leap into Earth's density for the first time. Yet they have done so out of love to be of service in this grand cosmic moment. Because of their origin, these 144,000 plus starseed souls have little or no personal karma to work through on Earth. This is a crucial point to understand. Unlike many of you who have had numerous Earth lives accumulating various wounds and lessons, which you've been busy healing and balancing, These new volunteers are arriving with a clean slate. They are not here to work off karmic debt or to repeat old human dramas. They come as specialists, on assignment for a specific high vibrational purpose. In past generations, a soul entering Earth almost always accrued karma or got entangled in the wheel of reincarnation. But these volunteer children are exceedingly wise. They slipped in past the usual traps. Many chose birth circumstances that gave them just enough stability and love to get started without incurring new trauma. You'll find, for instance, that a lot of these starseed kids have very awakened or open-minded parents or caretakers. This was by design, to ensure they aren't forced into soul contract baggage early on. As a result, these young ones remain remarkably unburdened. In energetic terms, they carry far less density in their field. Without heavy karmic baggage, they progress and blossom at astonishing speed. It's as if they hit the ground running from the moment they can talk, and many communicate volumes without words. Because they are unencumbered by karma, these new star seeds can pour all their energy into their mission. And what is that mission? It is multifaceted, but let us summarize. The next wave of 144,000 are here to fast-track the new Earth into being. They are accelerators of ascension. Their presence, in itself, raises the vibration of the human collective exponentially. Each such child is like a node of brilliant light anchoring a higher timeline. By simply being here in their authenticity, they affect everyone they meet. Many of you older lightworkers have worked for decades to heal yourselves, awaken, and hold light, often a tiring and arduous process, we know. These kids will seemingly accomplish in minutes through their beingness what took you years. This is not to diminish your hard work. Indeed, it's thanks to you that the environment is ready for them. But to illustrate how quickly things will shift with their input, they have come to propel humanity forward in quantum leaps. Where there was sluggish progress, they bring breakthroughs. Consider fields like science, art, spirituality, governance. Imagine enlightened young minds entering these arenas with no fear, no egoic motives. They will download solutions to long-standing problems, seemingly out of thin air. As teenagers or young adults, some of them will invent technologies that clean the planet or facilitate free energy. Others will have innate spiritual powers that current adults attain only after years of meditation. Abilities like natural telepathy, healing gifts, clairvoyance, advanced empathy. They won't need to be taught these. They come in with these gifts activated, and they will astonish the world with what they can do.
So what does this all mean? It means humanity is being invited to evolve, not through fear or force, but through the wisdom of children who carry the codes of New Earth within them. It means that love, once dismissed as unscientific, may actually be the highest frequency of intelligence. And it means that whether you're a parent, teacher, light worker, or simply a seeker, you have a role in supporting these starseed children. Believe in them, listen to them, and most importantly, learn from them. Because the children of the new dawn are not our future. They are our now. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, and then please visit News Nation for the entire interview with Dr. Powell. It is absolutely fascinating whether you believe in telepathy or not. Links in the description box below. And I've also included a link to the Telepathy Tapes podcast. On that note, thanks for being with me. Stay strong, stay heart-centered, and keep shining your light.